G'day guys, how's it going? Got two new beers that have literally just been kegged yesterday, so transferred into the keg. Sort of did a bit of a so before we get into that, caught up with Tim from Huntsman Brewing last night, had a few beers at his local, so that was pretty cool to catch up with Tim again. Plenty of laughs. We did a bit of a three-way testing of the Jedi juice from Lamo and Beef, I think it was. So yeah, that was interesting. I've never really done a comparative, I guess you would say. Yeah, but really nice examples, guys. So yeah, keep up the good work with that. Okay, so the two beers that I've got in front of me. Two beers I've got in front of me. This is a Mountain Goat Red IPA, but that's not really red. It's sort of, maybe the colours are going to be a little bit more reddish as it gets old. It's literally only, gee whiz, what's time now? Just over 2 o'clock. It wouldn't be 24 hours in the keg. So transferred it into the keg. Cold conditioned, so I didn't force carb until it was cold, until like it'd been in the keg for maybe 8 hours, 10 hours. So it is carbonated. This one obviously wasn't brewed under pressure because it was brewed in a plastic fermenter. This one is the Oktoberfest, which is just an absolute amazing colour. Just look at that. The old torch on the camera's picking up a good hue in that one. Hopefully that clears up pretty good too. I'm really pumped to talk about these two beers because predominantly I'm a really impatient brewer, and I don't like the idea of brewing a beer where I need to lager, like you keep the fridge on for 8 to 10 weeks, but I know that process does certainly help the end result. So which one do I want to talk about first? Let's go with the Oktoberfest because I just started on that one. So the original gravity in this one was 1061. I've got my laptop in front of me. Finished out at around 1012, so it gives 6.4 ABV, which is a little bit higher, but it's certainly to the style. 6.4 is definitely, this is actually based off the Spaten Oktoberfest. I picked up the recipe off Beersmith. I almost forgot the name. And I used the M54 Californian lager yeast again. So, I mean, as I'm talking, that's sort of clearing up as we're going along. Beautiful colour. Not too sure you can pick up the bead of bubbles in there. So this was brewed in the Kegmenta M54 yeast. I think the temperature for the fermentation was around about 17.5, 18 degrees, and then I cold crashed it for about a week, just trying to help let the beer settle out and the yeast settle out. So I'll go for a bit of a nose on this one. It's exactly what you would expect. This M54 yeast, I know it's not a true lager yeast, but it's certainly giving me the initial qualities that I would expect from a half-decent lager. So yeah, no more yapping, let's just go for a bit of a sip. Whew. Yeah, gosh. A really good performing yeast, this one. I'll just talk to you about the design of the beer, only because it's not really that traditional. Well, I shouldn't say it. It's about 90% traditional. So I've got like 5 grams of Magnum at 60 minutes. Then I've got Hallertau at 20 minutes, 15 grams at 20 minutes, and then 15 grams of Hallertau at the start of the boil as well at 60. All the malt bill some Vienna, Munich, and some Carry Munich too. And yeah, so I'm really happy with that. And even though it's 6.4, gee whiz, this is another dangerous one of those beers, because you could absolutely you could have 6 of these and you wouldn't realise it. So just got to be careful. I am, just going to be chilling out for the rest of the afternoon, maybe watch a couple of movies and stuff like that. So probably a good beer to rest on later on. I've also got some sauerkraut in the making. Not sure if you can see that. But that's only a couple of days old, so I'll probably, have that fermenting away for about another, 3 or 4 days, up to a week. And I'll put it in a jar and put it in the fridge, that way it stops fermenting out. Alright, the next one is the Mountain Goat Red IPA. It was part of their Rare Breed series. I haven't seen it on the shelf for a long time because obviously it was a seasonal. But if I just, I'll get Alright, sorry about that. I tried to Google, little particulars with this beer, but yeah, it's not coming up. I guess that is red. I mean, it's not. It's more brown, isn't it? Sort of. I'm hoping that the crystal will, start to produce a bit more red appearance sooner rather than later. As I said before, it is only quite fresh in the keg. So what have we got here? I'll go through the design. Well, original gravity 1060 and measured final gravity is 1019. So we've got an ABV of 5.4, which is, I can't remember what the original was, but I'm reasonably happy with that. So the hop set schedule for this beer is got 20 grams of Magnum at 60 minutes. We've got, sure there's one more. We've got 20 grams of Citra at 15 minutes, although I use Fortnite because the home brewery store didn't have Citra. 20 grams of Galaxy at 15, and a dry hop, of 10 grams of Amarillo, 25 grams of Fortnite, and 25 grams of Galaxy. So that was day 2 in the ferment, purely for the fact I used Nottingham in this recipe, and it seemed to really chew up the yeast. The yeast really seemed to chew up the sugars really quickly in like 2.5 days. Like high Kreuzen, it actually bubbled up out through the airlock, so obviously the yeast was happy. But I mean, the main reason to brew these 2 beers is because, 1, I don't really do a lager that often, and 2, I would probably think this Mountain Goat recipe has been my nemesis ever since I've started brewing, because ever since I've attempted to brew it, either the old brown pump that I used to have, it's not to do with the recipe, but it's just been like a bad omen for whenever I've tried to brew it. The brown pump fell out of my hands. It ended up snapping in the sink. I think another occasion the brewer in the bag actually split because of the element hit it or touched it. So yeah, I'm happy to report that there was no damages when I was brewing this beer, so that's pretty cool. So I'll get a nose on this one. So I am yapping a fair bit today. I do apologise about that. God, how can you go wrong with this? Getting that aroma, big, gorgeous dry hop aroma, obviously the late additions. But what I'm really looking forward to see if this beer is actually balanced with the malt bill and the early hops, with that Magnum, 20 grams of Magnum at 60. So enough yapping. I'll probably edit most of this stuff out, so apologies. Whew. Tell you what, I know that's only one day in the keg, but these are two really, really good beers. I purely wanted to Alright, so just in closing, yeah, both very, very drinkable beers, both very clean. I'm not getting the Magnum coming through just yet in the Mountain Goat Red IPA clone. But more importantly, I'm just hoping that gets a little bit redder, because as you can tell, it's a bit, yeah. It is hazy purely for the fact I did put the dry hop bag in the keg again. I just put like it wasn't one of those floats, it was just basically a plastic container, like fully closed with the air inside so it would float. So that's probably another reason why that is a little bit hazy. But now that I think about it, it's probably not going to get any clearer, and I probably would think that that's the colour that's going to remain. So anyway, I'm not too sure how long this vid's going to be. Hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully I haven't bored you. But yeah, just a quick update. Yeah, heading back to work next week. So yeah, but take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.